Good morning class. Today in this lecture we are going to discuss our next point in fourth chapter, that is framing and the retransmission versus forward error correction. In previous lecture we discussed the selection reject or selection repeat protocol. Selective repeat is also a sliding window protocol which detects and corrects the error occurred in the data link layer. The selective repeat protocol retransmits only that frame which is damaged or lost, and the selective repeat protocol retransmitted frame is received out of sequence. Selective repeat protocol is also called as selective repeat automatic request. Repeat request means selective repeat ARQ, or it is also called as selective reject ARQ. In data link layer protocol that uses the sliding window method, means in a data link layer selective repeat ARQ method is used. The go back and ARQ protocol works well if it has a fewer errors, but if there is a lot of errors in the frame, means lots of bandwidth losses in sending the frames again, so that we use the selective repeat ARQ protocol. This is all about our previous lecture's point. In today's lecture we discussed the first point, that is framing. Our fourth chapter, that is error detection and correction, and in this chapter the last point in our this chapter is the framing. The data link layer design issue is framing, error control and flow control. Error control and flow control, which we discussed already in a previous lecture. In this lecture we discuss the framing concept. Data are sent in block called as a frames. The beginning and the end of each frame must be recognized by the receiver. Mean it is sent in the block and it is must the beginning and end of each frame, which is recognized by the receiver. Error control means bit error introduced by the transmission system should be detected and or corrected. Flow control means the sending station must not send the frames at a rate faster than the receiving station can absorb them. The physical layer accepts a raw material, means raw bit stream, and delivers it to the destination. This bit stream is not guaranteed to be error free. Means suppose sender sends the data at the physical layer, it accepts a raw bit stream and it delivers to the destination, and this bit stream is not guaranteed. There is no guarantee to be it is a error free data. The number of bits received may be less than, equal to, more than number of bits transmitted, and they may have a different values, so that it is up to the data link layer to detect the errors. Means in a data link layer it detects and corrects the errors and transmits to the upper layer, and for this the solution for this is the framing. Next point is a framing means a large block of data may be broken into small frames at the source because limited buffer size at the receiver, so that it is broken into the smaller pieces called as a frame. A large block of data has a higher probability of errors, so that it is broken into the small frames at the source site. With the small frames errors are detected sooner and only a smaller amount of data needs to be retransmitted. On a shared medium such as Ethernet or wireless LAN, small frame size can be prevent one station from medium for the long period. Frame is also called as packet or a block. It is also called as packet or a block. Framing are necessary for packet switched networks, which we already discussed in a previous lecture, that is packet switched network. Framing are necessary for packet switched networks, and frame generally has a header followed by the transmitted data. Means framing contains header and trailer. Trailer also often follows the data. Next point is Types of framing. There are mainly two types of framing. First is the fixed size framing. Second is the variable size framing. Frames can be fixed and variable size. In fixed size framing, there is no need for defining the boundaries of the frame. Means there is no need to define the delimiter. Means the size itself can be used as a delimiter. An example of fixed size framing is the ATM van, which uses the frames of a fixed size called as a cells. In variable size framing, we need way to define the end of one frame and beginning of the next term. Means in variable size framing, we define the boundary of a frame. Means start and end we have to define. An example of variable size framing is the LAN, means local area network. Main difference in fixed and variable size framing is that fixed size framing there is no need for defining the boundaries, but in variable size framing there is need to define the boundaries. Next point is a variable size framing is divided into two approaches. First is the character oriented approach, which is also called as a byte oriented approach or a bit oriented approach. Variable size divided into two types, that is character oriented, which is also called as byte, and the bit oriented approach. First point is a character oriented or a byte oriented framing. In character oriented framing, data is transmitted as a sequence of bytes from an 8-bit coding system like ASCII. The part of a frame in a character oriented framing are: first is a frame header. This is the frame which is starter and end with the flags. Flags are the frame delimiter, means starting point and a ending point of that frame. Frame header, which contains the source and the destination address of the frame in form of bytes. Header contains source and destination addresses of the frame in the form of bytes. Payload field means it contains the message to be delivered and it is a variable sequence of data bytes. Trailer, it contains the byte for error detection and the error correction. And the flags are the frame delimiters signaling the start and end of the frame. It is of a 1 byte denoting a protocol depending special character. This is the frame and their points. Frame contains flag which is define the start and end point. Trailer, which contains the information for error correction and the detection. Header contains the information, means it contains the source and destination address. Payload, it contains the message to be delivered. Next point is in byte oriented framing, it is popular when only text was extended by the data link layer. Suppose text is extended in a data link layer. At that time, byte oriented framing was popular. The flag could be selected to be any character not used for a text communication. For a text communication, flag could be selected to any character. Now, however, we send other types of information like graphic, audio, video or any character used for a flag could also be part of a information. If this happens, the receiver, when it encounters this pattern in the middle of the data, thinks it has reached the end of the frame. To fix this problem, a byte stripping strategy was added to byte oriented framing. Suppose in data link layer, suppose physical layer sends the data. At that time, suppose there is an error in the data stream. At that time, this problem is solved by the byte oriented framing, and this is fixed by using byte stripping strategy. In a byte stripping or a character stripping, a special byte is added to the data section of the frame. when there is a character with the same pattern as a flag. The data section is stuffed with an extra byte. Means character stuffing is the process of adding one extra byte whenever there is a flag or a escape character in the text. Each frame starts and ends with a special bytes called as a flag byte. Remember this sentence? Each frame starts and ends with a special bytes called as a flag bytes. Next point is this is figure of byte stuffing and unstuffing. Here in this figure, this is the data, this is the flag and this is the escape character. Stuffed means adding escape character before the flag. It adds the escape character before the flag as well as escape that are occurred in the data. Suppose escape is occurred in the data before the escape and before the flag, it adds the escape, means it stuffs the data. This is the original data. Suppose there is a error in this data. For this reason or to solve this point, we byte stuffing strategy is used. Here we add the escape character before the flag and the escape character before the escape. This is the extra 2 bytes added in this frame. Frame is received by the receiver. At the receiver side, it unstuffs that frame, means it removes the escape character before the flag which we added, and it also removes the escape characters which we added in the frame, means it unstuffs the escape characters. Stuffing means adding the escape and unstuff means removing the escape. Next point is this is the examples. This is the 4 examples of a byte sequence before and after the byte stuffing. Here in this original character, suppose A is the data, flag and B is the data. This is the 3 frames. And suppose we add or we use the byte stuffing method. The frame is like this. After stuffing, the frame is sent by the sender is like this. A, after that, after flag, before flag, it adds the one escape character, flag and B. In second example, suppose escape is there. Escape, before escape, we add the one more escape. Suppose in this third example, escape and flag is present in the data. At that time, before escape, we add one escape, or before flag, we add one escape. Escape and escape is present in the data and we use the byte stuffing strategy. At that time, escape, before the escape we add one escape and before the second escape we add one escape. This is data after stuffing sent by the sender. At the receiver removes this escape before the flag and the escape, so that it received the original and the corrected data. These are the 4 examples of byte sequence before and after byte stuffing. Next point is the bit oriented framing. We can send the data or we can send the text only by using byte oriented stuffing. In bit oriented stuffing, data is transmitted as a sequence of bits. In the sequence of bits, the data is transmitted. That can be interpreted in the upper layers both as a text as well as multimedia data. The parts of a frame in a bit oriented framings are same. First is a flag header, payload, trailer and the flags. Flag means a sequence of bit, means starting point and ending point. Header, it contains the bit denoting the source and destination address. It contains bit which denoting the source and destination addresses. Payload, it contains the message to be delivered and it is a variable sequence of a bits. Trailer, it contains the error detection and error correction bits. Flag are the bit pattern that act as a frame delimiters signaling the start and end of each frame. Start and end of each frame. It is generally of 8 bits and comprises of 6 or more consecutive ones. Means it comprises 6 or more consecutive ones. Most protocol uses the 8-bit pattern, that is 0 1 1 1 1 1 1 0. Most of the protocol uses this pattern as a flag. Next point is a frame in a bit oriented protocol. A bit oriented protocol is suited for transmitting any sequence of bits. So there are chances that the pattern of flag bits is present in the message. Means suppose this is the original data and flag, we added the flag is also in the present in this message, in order that the receiver does not consider this end of frame. Means at that time receiver cannot consider that this is the end of frame because of this flag bits is also present in the message. Bit stripping mechanism, at that time we use the bit stripping mechanism. Whenever a 0 bit is followed by the 5 consecutive ones bit in the message, an extra 0 bit is stripped at the end of 5 ones. Means suppose after followed by 0, 5 consecutive ones are there. At that time an extra 0 is stripped, means added at the end of 5th bit, means 5th bit. When the receiver receives the message, it removes the stripped zeros after each sequence of 5 ones, and the unstripped message is then sent to the upper layer. This process is done by stripping process is done at the receiver side, at the sender side, and the receiver unstripped the message and send the data to the upper layer. Here in this data link, data from the upper layer, this is the original data, this is the flag, this is the header, and this is the original data. In that data we add extra 0 after 5 consecutive ones. Means here 1 2 3 4 5. After 5 we add 1 extra 0. Means we stripped the bits, means we add the extra 0. After that, after 5 consecutive ones we add extra 0. In this way we stripped the bits, means we use the mechanism that is bit oriented or a bit stripping. Here extra 2 bits are added in the data and this is sent by the sender to the receiver. Here receiver receives that bit and unstrip the data. Means here after 5 consecutive ones extra 0 is there, it removes or it unstripped the bit. After that, after 5 consecutive ones it removes 1 0, so that it gets the original data and it sends to the upper layer. Let us see one example related to that bit oriented protocol. Here in bit stripping, suppose this is the data. After that, at the second step, we add after 5 consecutive ones we add 1 0. Again after 5 consecutive ones we add 1 0. After 5 consecutive ones we add 1 0. Means we add 3 extra bits, or we can say that we stripped bits 3 extra bits. Here at the receiver side it unstrips these 3 bits and get the original data. In bit stripping, this is the original data, B is the data as they appear on the line, and C means the data as they are stored in the receiver's memory after destripping. This is all about the framing. Framing divides the frame is divided into the blocks, which is also called as a packet, and there are mainly 2 types of framing: fixed and variable size framing. Again, variable size is divided into two types, that is bit and byte oriented framing. Next point is there are mainly two methods of error correction. First is the forward error correction and second is the retransmission. Let us see forward error correction versus retransmission. Forward error correction, that is FEC, is only error correction scheme that actually detects and corrects the transmission errors when they are received without requiring a transmission. Means it detects and corrects the error and this data is received without requiring the transmission. With the FEC, redundant bits are added to the message before transmission. Suppose there are error, at that time we add the redundant bit in the message before the transmission. When an error is detected, the redundant bits are used to determine which bit is in a error. Correcting the bit is a simple matter of completing it. The number of redundant bits necessary to correct the errors is greater than the number of bits needed to simply detect the errors. Therefore, FAC is generally limited to 1, 2 or 3 bit error. There are mainly 3 types of errors: multi-bit error, single bit error and burst error. The purpose of FAC code is to eliminate the time wasted for a retransmission. There is no need to retransmit the data. Suppose there is an error in the data. Forward error correction is the process in which the receiver tries to guess the message by using the redundant bit, and this is possible if the number of errors is small. This is the forward error correction. Means there is no need to retransmit the data. Means it eliminates the time of wasted for retransmission. It is a process in which receiver tries to guess the message by using the redundant bits. Means by using redundant bit, it guesses the messages and possible to correct the errors or detect the errors. Next one is a retransmission. Retransmission is a technique in which the receiver detects the occurrence of an error and asks the sender to resend the message. Means in the retransmission technique, receiver detects the occurrence of an error and asks the sender to resend the message. This resending process is repeated until the message arrives that the receiver believes it is error free. Usually not all the errors can be detected. The receiver terminal automatically calls for a retransmission of an entire message, and the retransmission is often called as a ARQ method, which we already discussed in a previous lectures. Error ARQ, that is automatic repeat request, stop and wait, selective repeat, then sliding window protocol. This is the automatic repeat request protocols. It is called as a ARQ, automatic repeat request, or a automatic retransmission request. It is most reliable method of a error free. This is the error forward error correction versus retransmission. Next point is the error correction. Error correction is the detection of errors and reconstruction of original error free data. The main motto or the main benefit of the error correction or main function of the error correction is to detect the error and retransmission of the original and error free data. There are mainly 2 techniques of error correction. First is the ARQ. Second is the error correcting code or a forward error correction. Let us see first point, that is ARQ. ARQ is also known as automatic repeat query, is an error control method for data transmission that uses the acknowledgements, means message sent by the receiver indicating that it has correctly received a packet, and timeouts to achieve the reliable data transmission over an unreliable communication channel. If the sender does not receive an acknowledgement before the timeout, it usually retransmits the packet until the sender receives an acknowledgement or exceeds a predefined number of retransmissions. Means that if sender does not receive any acknowledgements at that time before the timeout. It usually retransmits the packet until the sender receives an acknowledgement, or it also exceeds and predefined the number of retransmissions. In some application, two-way communication link exists between sender and the receiver. Suppose in some application, two-way communication is there. At the communication link between sender and receiver, the receiver may inform the sender that message has been received in an error. At that time, it resends the message. Hence, the repeat request means request a repeat of that message, so that it is called as a automatic repeat request. The procedure may be repeated as many times as necessary until that message is received error free. The received message simply retransmitted is called as a ARQ, that is automatic repeat request. There are three ARQ protocol in data link layer: stop and wait, go back and end, and selective repeat ARQ, which we already discussed in a previous lectures. Next point is a error correcting code or a forward error correction. Forward error correction, that is FEC, is an error correction technique to detect and correct a limited number of errors in a transmitted data without the need of retransmission. There is no need to retransmit the data, it corrects the error. In this method, the sender sends the redundant error correcting code along with the data frames. Means it adds the extra code with the data. So the receiver performs the necessary checks based upon the additional redundant bits. If it finds that the data is error free means it is error free, it executes the error correcting code that generates the actual frame. It then removes the redundant bits before passing the message to the upper layer. Means byte or bit stripping, we already discussed in this lecture, that is byte or bit stripping, means it then removes the redundant bits before passing the message to the upper layer. Error correction codes are usually distinguished between convolutions and block codes. Block codes means the message is divided into fixed size blocks of bit to which redundant bits are added for a error correction. For error correction, it adds the redundant bit, means extra bit in the original data. Block codes are processed on a block by block basis. It is processed on a block by block basis, and the convolutions codes is processed on a bit by bit basis. Early examples of block codes are: first is the repetition code. The repetition is one of the most basic error correcting code in order to transmit the message over a noisy channel that may corrupt the transmission in a few places. And the idea of the repetition code is to just repeat the message several times. For example, suppose data sent by the sender is 1011. The 4-bit block can be repeated 3 times. Suppose we send this data 3 times, that is 1011, 1011 and 1011. If this pattern, that is 12-bit pattern, was received as a 1010 rather than 1011, it received data 1010, then 1011, 1011. At that time, receiver detects that in the first block is unlike for the other two, so that it can be determined that an error has been occurred. So that pattern sent by the sender is 1011, 1011 and 1011, and the original data is a 4-bit, that is 1011. But in the transmission media there is an error. Suppose 1010 is the error, so that receiver detects that in a first block there is an error, so that error is occurred in the data. This is the repetition code, means we add the repetition or we just repeat the message several times. The hope is that the channel corrupts only the minority of these repetitions. This way the receiver will notice that transmission error occurred since the received data stream is not the repetition of a single message, and moreover the receiver can recover the original message by the looking at the received message in the data stream that occurs most often. Repetition codes is just repeat the message several times for detecting the error, and this is the example of block codes. That is, first is a repetition code. Next is Hamming codes. It is error correction codes that can be used to detect and correct the bit errors that can be occur when the computer data is moved or stored. It is developed by R&W Hamming of Bell Labs, provides the practical solution to correct the error at the receiver side. And it is a single bit error correction method using the redundant bits. Hamming code can be applied to any length of a data unit and uses the relationship between the data and the redundancy bits. Next is a multidimensional parity check course, that is MDPC. It is a simple type of error correcting code that operates by arranging the message into the multidimensional grid. In the matrix, it arranges the message into the multidimensional grids. We already discussed the parity check method. Next is a convolutional codes. It is a process by bit process, and they are particularly suitable for implementing in a hardware. This is all about our block codes and convolutional codes. This is all about our today's lecture point. In this way, our fourth chapter, that is error detection and correction, here is completed. Let us take let's overview of this chapter. In this chapter we discussed first of all OSI model. In that we discussed the concept of layered architecture OSI model and the layered architecture of the OSI model. Then we discussed the types of error in data communication. Mainly there are two types of errors, single burst and multidimensional. Next is the error detection. In that we discussed the error detection method, that is repetition codes, which we already discussed in this lecture. Then VRC, vertical redundancy check, or we called as a parity check. LRC means longitudinal redundancy check, then checksum, and a CRC. After that we discussed the error correction, that is automatic repeat request and error correcting code. Then we discussed the forward error correction versus retransmission, that is FEC and retransmission, which we already discussed in this chapter, in this lecture. Next we discussed the framing, which is fixed size and variable size framing. After that we discussed the flow and error control techniques. Flow control techniques, there are mainly two types of flow control techniques, that is stop and wait and sliding window. And error control, there are mainly four types of error control techniques, that is stop and wait ARQ, sliding window ARQ, go back and N ARQ, and selective reject ARQ. This is all about our chapter number 4, that is error detection and correction. Thank you.